What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. We are going to be doing red strawberry summery monochromatic look. I just thought it would be fun to do a get ready with me. It's been a minute on my channel where I haven't been doing a first impression. I thought it'd be fun to just do like a full face of makeup today. As you can see, everything's just very bright and red and summery and very bronzy. So I do have a lot of products to update you on, as well as a couple of new ones to show you, and I've been playing with for a while, so I can give you some thoughts about my experience so far with them. So thank you so much for hanging out with me in today's video, and let's get into the look. So I was trying to decide which palette I want to play with today. So either my Sweetest Thing from Moira or the All That palette from Colourpop. Both have some really red fun shades in there. But you guys have seen me play with this one on camera before, and it has more like pinky tones in it. So I think I'm gonna go for this one today because it has a lot of like more rosy, like neutrally red shades, and I think that's what I want to go for. I'm gonna start with my Moisture Surge Face Spray for thirsty skin relief. Just having a little moisture on the skin is always good for me. I have dry skin. My redness is kind of starting to chill out a little bit. However, I am still going to use this Dream Canvas Color Correcting Primer Balm from Moira, and I like it with this Eco Tools brush. So before, you guys saw me do a first impression with it, and I wasn't quite sure how to apply it. I did it with my fingers, and I was kind of like, nah, it's okay. But applying it with like a flat, long bristled brush like this is really nice. And again, this was an Eco Tools one that I got from Amazon. So we're just gonna go ahead and prime the face. Just cancel out some of that redness. And I think just patting it in the skin with a brush like this, and it does a really good job. I have really been enjoying this primer. A lot of times I just forget to use it, honestly. It's just like an extra step that I have to kind of remind myself to do, especially now that my redness is calming down a little bit. It is really nice. I do enjoy it. And I would recommend it if you do like something like a nice primer balm texture with just a little bit of redness correcting to it. It's very comfortable, very silky on the skin. Now I'm going to take a mixture of two. I have 202 and 204. One is just really light, one's a little bit warm, but they're both in the neutral. I don't know why I didn't just get 203, but I've been mixing these. And this can be a very full coverage foundation, so I usually start with a little and just build it up. Today I'm going to take a big giant brush, this one's from Juvia, and just sort of pat it into the skin right over that primer. L'Oreal Pro Glow is really nice because it's like a versatile formula for me. Like I can mix it in with serums and skincare and kind of make it more of a light coverage foundation, or I can softly build it up for skin-like texture, or I can really shellac it on and get like that full glam, full coverage effect. So I really like it. It's a really great versatile foundation that I don't hear a lot of people talking about anymore. It's, I mean, nothing new, but it seems like everyone's kind of moved on from it, and I'm still really stuck on it. Now I'm going to take my tried and true concealer. This is the Maybelline Eraser, and I have the shade 121. They stopped labeling them like light, neutral, fair, whatever. They're just numbers now. I'm not sure if that's temporary or just this batch that I happen to be looking for, but this is the shade 121, and it is a bit lighter. I like to do some sculpting, brightening, and concealing with it. I take my Moira sponge and just gently press it in. I haven't done a full-blown get ready with me in a minute on my channel, and since I have so many products to kind of update my thoughts on, especially ones from Moira, and I have a few from Jaclyn Hill. I know, I tried Jaclyn Hill. I've been so like anti-Morphe and any of its sister brands. And I've always been just so kind of turned off by the brand for no particular reason at all. I don't know, I just haven't wanted to try it, and lately Jaclyn's releases have really been catching my eye and I've been like, huh, what, okay. So I'll show you guys those products later because they're not new to me. I have been playing with them for a minute. Okay, this is something that's new to me. I just did a bronzer collection video and then like a clown I went and bought more bronzers. To be fair, I did declutter one, and you could probably guess which one it is if you go watch that video, because it was just sort of one I didn't recommend and it wasn't my favorite. But I used it a few more times even after that video, and it just felt like it was sort of going bad, so I just got rid of it. You know, I've got so many great options. But this is the Soul Body. I got the shade medium, and this is the Face and Body Bronzing Balm. And this makes such a phenomenal cream bronzer in my opinion. Like, I've been loving it since I first got it. And you know, some products I really take a while to make up my mind on. This one I've been obsessed since like the first time I used it. Granted, I am a cream bronzer and cream product type of gal, so I'm a little bit more sold on cream products. It has an interesting smell. I want to say it's like coconut. It smells a lot like the other Soul Body products, and I'm kind of been enjoying it. I like it. It reminds me of the Victoria's Secret, like, what did they call it? 24 karat coconut. It was like a Christmas release of their lotion, and it smells just like that. So I'm taking this e.l.f. putty brush. You guys know I'm obsessed with these. I have two now. I went and picked up another one because I just have so many cream products, and these just do such a great job. I think like they have just the right amount of softness, density. I like kind of that they're short-handled. I have no idea. Can someone tell me like what this end is for? Is this like an ergonomic thing? Am I holding it too high? Is it like to scoop out the product? Which doesn't make sense to me because then you have to like scoop it off and get it on the brush. I don't know, but I've been curious like what's with the shape of these. But at any rate, e.l.f. brushes are some of my favorite affordable options for makeup brushes. And you can either stipple this on or like rub it on. It doesn't disturb underneath. I've been trying to stipple just to give more of an airbrushy effect. This is just a really pretty bronzer. It's definitely on the warm side, but for the tone of my complexion right now in the summer, I think it's really nice. Just to give me a little bit of wash of color, reframe out the cheeks. And I just add a little bit to the forehead. I don't like to add too terribly much and start looking like orange, but just enough to kind of balance out the face a little bit. I definitely take whatever's left and just go over the ears. Sometimes I'll stipple the side of the nose too, just a little bit of color. You can even go over here. There's the difference between bronzer and no bronzer. If I were doing just like a light makeup day, like this would be it. I'd pretty much be done. I would probably put some on my eyes and just like call it a day. But we're gonna keep going. I want to show you the powder products that I've been enjoying lately and have recently, somewhat recently, added to my collection in the last few months. I've done a lot of first impressions lately just because it's been fun to unbox and try things on camera, but I do really want a majority of my videos to be giving you like solid feedback and my preference and experience rather than just a ooh and ah opening it. Again, those are fun, but I want it to be helpful for you guys too. I take a while to make up my mind in most cases. This bronzer, not one of them. Like, in love immediately. Would repurchase. I got it on sale, so I really hope they don't discontinue it. Probably will since I'm so smitten right now, but yeah, beautiful product. What I really like about this component too is like it's like so luxurious feeling, but you also get this like hard kind of plastic cover in there to really seal in the product and make sure it doesn't dry out, and I really appreciate that. I like that it's really simple and to the point, but like nice. Love that bronzer. Okay, I'm gonna go in with this product. This is another Moira one. It's the Pro Long Priming Cream Shadow. I've used this a few times on my channel and kind of given you guys the lowdown on it. It's good. It's not life-changing. My gripe with it is that I feel like I need to set it with powder, which to me defeats the purpose of a primer. Like, I don't want to have to do an extra step and powder my eyes and then go in with my eyeshadow powders. So what I've been doing is I just pat that on before setting my face. I've been using the Jaclyn and Robin powder. I think it's just really pretty. I have the shade Sheer Light, and this product is called the Power Move Loose Setting Powder. It doesn't have a ton of color. There's a little bit, but it is more sheer. I do find that, like, I have a hard time with the, like, I just opened it and stuff spilled all over. And then I have a hard time getting it out of the little, I just kind of shake it around like that. Fluffy brush. This is another one from e.l.f. They call it the Complexion Brush. Sometimes I'll even use like e.l.f.'s huge kabuki brush. Just tap it in there. And I'll set the eyes with that. And very, very lightly set the rest of the face. And I've been enjoying this powder. It took me a while to decide. Powders usually aren't my thing, so I've been using this. I bought it during the launch when they first launched because I was just really intrigued. I thought that was a really pretty release and collection, and it got me interested in Jaclyn Cosmetics and made me want to try it out, especially since it was something her mom created and was more doing it for like more mature skin. So I thought it would be a nice product for me since my skin is getting on the mature side and is definitely on the dry and textured side, even since my 20s. Which today is actually my 35th birthday. Hooray! Which I'm cool with aging. I think it's awesome. I think it's a blessing. Not everyone gets to do it, so I'm definitely not a person that's like, you know, too bent out of shape on my birthdays or like aging up. I don't know when this video will actually go up. It'll probably be in the next few days or next week. Yeah, so let me see if I can get a little closer so you guys can see the finish. You can like barely see it. It's really, really nice. I actually have applied this as a setting powder more heavily and went swimming that day, and it was just one of those, I want to do my makeup even though I'm going to go swimming and it's going to get messed up, whatever. And my makeup was like, my complexion makeup was flawless when I got out. I was like, Jaclyn, what is this sorcery? Like, how? Why? I wish I had picked up the camera. It was something that I didn't know was going to happen, so I wasn't really prepared to do like before and afters, and it was one of those like, no one's going to believe I went swimming, other than maybe the eyebrows were like a little out of sorts, but I was amazed. So a little bit goes a long way with this for me. I find I don't need a lot, and I love this packaging. Like, I don't know, it's so pretty and luxurious, and I really like just having it on my counter. It's like plastic and it's kind of like chunky and heavy, and I don't know, I'm really enjoying this so far. Okay, I'm gonna go in with a MAC lip pencil in the shade Brick. I haven't used this one in a while, and then I'm gonna follow up with this Gwen Stefani Anaheim Shine in Original Recipe Red. Really like this one. I did a video trying these out too, but I really love the lipstick. This isn't the most like precise pencil. It does kind of smear and smudge, but I am trying to use it up. I've had it for a minute and it's time to use it up and let it go. I love this red. It's so pretty. And I love that satin formula. It just has such a nice shine to it. I'm really curious about all these formulas coming on the market that are like a no transfer glossy finish, because I love a glossy red lip. Okay, next is another Jaclyn Cosmetics, I know, product, and I couldn't resist. I just thought this was a really pretty release. I saw her video, and this is her bronzing pressed bronzer. I think it's called like the Golden Hour collection or something, which makes sense because this is definitely a very warm bronzer. I have the shade Top Down. It's supposed to smell like toffee, and a lot of people said coffee. I was excited. I'm like, you have me at bronzer and coffee scented, but I'll be honest, I'm probably crazy, but this has like a salty smell to it, which is probably like part of the toffee-ness, but it doesn't smell like coffee to me. It smells like salted pretzels, which I don't mind, but it's definitely not like a sweet smell like I was expecting, or like a latte smell. But this is really pretty, and I've been liking it with that Soul Body bronzer and then just combining this over the top. But as you can see, it's very warm. I actually kind of like using it like a bronzer blush hybrid. And I just kind of gently stipple it on. You can kind of overdo it, I think, just because I went for a deeper shade than really that I need. Some of the shades were sold out and I just really didn't want to go too light. I would rather go light-handed with like something more pigmented when it comes to bronzer than have it be a bronzer you really can't see. Not because that's a bad thing, but I actually already have a couple in my collection that do that, like my Clinique one and my e.l.f. one. So you can go check out my bronzer video if you want to see some demos. But yeah. So just like re-intensifies what I did earlier. Oh, this lipstick. Yeah, it's so weird. It's like a salty smell to me. It smells like a salted pretzel. It doesn't smell bad at all. It's definitely unique. I just wouldn't call it a sweet smell. And I definitely wouldn't say, ooh, cup of coffee, which is what I was hoping for. It's an interesting, very unique scent. And it still is like fresh smelling. It's not unappealing or overwhelming at all. Okay, I could probably keep going in with this rose, and I use it very much like my Moira one. My Moira one is a little bit more yellow undertone, whereas this one is a bit more of a red undertone. But the formula is really, really pretty. I like it with this giant brush, so I don't go too heavy-handed, and I can kind of stipple and pat, and it blends into that finishing powder really nicely. So I like the look that this gives, especially for summer. I bet it'll be really fun in the fall too, but right now I'm like, ooh, loving it. I'm going to be using the Colourpop Brow Gel along with my tried and true L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer Pencil. I love this pencil, highly recommend it. And the way I do my brows, sometimes I think it's really boring to do like a brow tutorial, or I think like it would bore you guys, but I do get a lot of questions on my eyebrows, so I just comb through them. And I usually work on the arch and then draw a very light line and then feather through again. So I'll show you. Some days I go for more rounded, some days I go for thicker, but typically most days I try to add as little as possible. I think the best way is like less is more, and I try not to actually overfill my brows just because I feel like that defined hair and some of that sparseness like gives it a more natural look. And then here, just gonna go straight line very softly under the brow. Very, very softly. Sometimes I'll back comb if I feel like, you know, I need to fill in a little bit more right there. And then I'll just use the spoolie again to brush through everything, and that just softens what I drew in. If I need to, I will lengthen the end. But that's pretty much it. So you can see the difference. It's very subtle. It definitely just sculpts and defines the brow, especially this arch. I like to have kind of more of a pointier arch. Now I'm going to go in, and this shade is too light. This is light brown, and I needed brunette. They didn't have it. We're sold out of it for forever, so it's like I'll give it a try with my lighter hair. Bad choice. You can definitely see this product in my brows a lot more than the little bit deeper shade I used to get, but we're going to go with it. It's still a nice formula. Yeah, that's it for brows. I'm trying to decide if I want to do cha-cha or come through. I think I'm going to start with cha-cha. And I'm just going to pat that on the outside portions of my eye, and I'm going to keep it very high and very round today. I'm going to see if I can pick up the shade Infatuation. It's like a very chunky, flaky kind of red. Yeah, it's almost like too glittery to do with just like a brush. I don't know if you can see, it's just like patchy. I'm going to kind of do like a straight line up as much as possible. And just barely blend it into that pink. Just dust that off. Now I'm going to go into the shade Fishnets, such a pretty rose gold color. I'm going to go right in the middle and all the way up to my brow. Back into Cha Cha. Just kind of diffuse the edges just slightly. The shade Silhouette. I don't think I want to do either one of these shades. I just don't want it to get too deep. I do want it to be kind of like a diffused eye, but I do want to add some definition, so I'm going to go in with the shade. And I'm just going to pat this on the very outside of my eyelid and the very inside. Now there's this really pretty glittery shade. It's called Uncensored. And I'm going to tap that in the middle. I really like that. That initial transition shade Cha Cha. Go along the bottom lash line. Okay, so I just finished up the other eye. I just put Cha Cha on the lower lash line. For the lower lashes, I'm using this Voluminous Original in the shade Burgundy. I just did that on the lower lash line. And then for the upper lash line, I did the Bambi Eye mascara from L'Oreal as well, and I just coated the heck out of my top lashes. One more thing I wanted to add to the complexion is this Super Shock cheek in a pearlized finish called Brut Flute. It's just like this really pretty kind of deeper berry color. This is newer to my collection. I was wanting to add some Super Shock blushes, especially for summer, and this is a totally different putty blush. It's just another one. And I'm just gonna tap that on just like the apples of the cheeks. I'm not gonna bring it too far up. I still want that like bronzy color, but just a little bit on the cheeks just to tie everything together. So you can see the difference between no blush and blush, just subtle. It's a really pretty color. Just like a pinky berry light burgundy shade. And I like just the tiniest bit of sheen that that pearlized finish gives. It's like a natural skin-like glow without being glittery. Some of the Super Shock cheeks are glittery. Which one? I think I picked up Chiffon, and I don't like that one. It's got like orangey gold glitters in it, which is pretty. I don't really like specks of glitter on my cheeks. Because I'm a fiend, I'm just gonna go in with some more of that bronzer. And I think that's going to be the look. Just doing the whole strawberry red thing today, and I'm here for it. I'm kind of loving it. So hopefully you guys had fun just watching me do a get ready with me, playing around with some berry tones and some beautiful reds, some new stuff, some not so new stuff. Thanks so much for hanging out with me in today's video, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.